morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I just showed you a bit of bog cotton there. We're up at Glencoe this morning because it's really moody and I haven't really had a chance to use the ND10 KNFC filter, so I thought I'll come up, give it a try. I knew it was going to be dark, so there's not going to be a lot of light on the landscape, but there'll certainly be mood in the clouds. So I just filmed a wee bit of bog cotton there because it's always fascinated me. Every time I come up here there's always loads of bog cotton. I hadn't realised that bog cotton used to be used for packing pillows. It's too small to be used and spun for clothes and stuff, but it used to be used for packing pillows. Right, I'm just turning round. I've just come to the edge here. There's a big heron. So I've just come to the edge of Loch and Annalise here. So what I'll do is I'll walk down. So join me and let's see where this journey takes us this morning. Right, so, do you know, I love Glencoe, but I forgot how bad it was in the summer with midges. Honestly, it feels as though I'm getting eaten alive. But I found this wee cracking composition. So this is me, I'm on the opposite side of Loch and Annalise. I'm usually on that side. And I've seen a path, so I thought I'll just follow the path for the grass. And I'll just stand here and see for some compositions because I've never photographed in this area before. But I came over and I had a wee nosy under this bridge. But look at that, there's quite a really cool composition here. So we've got the reeds under the bridge, we've got those couple of rocks, and then you've got the water following down the stream. So I thought, oh, that might make a cool composition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera up and I'm going to see if I can get a couple of shots here. And it's quite a tricky one because I'm under the dark bridge. If I turn the camera around, I've got the darkness of the bridge, so I'm having to zoom in. I've got the darkness here in the foreground, then you've got bright, then you've got highlights in the water, and then if I go down, we've got some highlights in the clouds as well. So the challenge for me here, when I look at the back of this screen, I've got f11, I've got a tenth of a second, and I've got ISO 100. I've put the polarizer filter on, and I've put the 3-stop ND grad filter on so I can try and get some form of darkness in the clouds. So what I'll do is I'll take 2 or 3 of these shots, and when I've finished, I'll share those images with you now. Right, before I leave here, because it's quite noisy, what I've got is I've got a composition here where I've just spotted, I've got this really nice rock in the foreground, and then that gives me a leading line right out to the mouth of the loch. I've got a little island, I've got a tree on the far left here, and then I've got the Black Ridge Mountains in the background. Really moody, really dark. The clouds are amazing. So I'm really hoping this will turn out. So I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to use a 1/6 of a second, f11 and ISO 100. I've still got that ND grad filter on because I definitely want the definition in the clouds, because the whole morning is going to be about the clouds. There's a spot of light hitting some of the Black Ridge Mountains there. So I'll take a couple of shots here, and when I'm finished, I'll share those with you now. I'm just going to walk around a wee bit more. I'll turn the camera around so you can see where I'm walking. And there's the light hitting the top of the Black Ridge Mountain up there. So what I'm going to do now is just look for a different composition. Might be struggling this side because it is predominantly just water. All the interesting compositions are that side. Let me just go to the water's edge because there might be something I can do with these rocks as foreground. Do you know, not really, because I want to be over there and then shoot this way. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll nip over the other side and I'll catch back when I'm over there. Honestly, these midges are a nightmare. Right, so I'm going to share my composition with you. So what I have is I've got the light touching the top of the Black Ridge Mountains. I've got these trees, I've got these rocks as foreground interest. And what I'm trying to do is just get the right balance of composition from a light point of view. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a darker exposure for the sky and the light in the mountain, and then I'm going to have to do a lighter exposure for the foreground. And then I'll have to merge the two together, because the way that the light is, oh, these midges are crazy. The way that the light is, it's just too extreme. And I need to get a lit foreground, because there's not, it would be better if I had kind of two spots of light. A spot of light here lighting up the tree, and then the dark sky with the light in the mountains would be amazing. We're not going to get that. We have to make the best of what we've got. So I'll take these images and, oh boy, I'll take these images and I'll share them with you now. Oh boy, right, I've come down at a lower level, and I'm, I don't know how long I can last, and I'm just going to get a lower shot of these trees, because the mountain's lit up really nice in the background. So I'll take 2 or 3 shots here. I'm trying to get the rocks in the foreground as well. I've got the tree, and then I've got the mountain just to the left of it. I'll take these shots because there's some spots of lights coming up over on the right hand side here, and when I've finished, I'll share those images with you now. Oh, absolutely brutal. Right, I'm going to show you what my composition is here. So I have, I've got this rock as my kind of foreground, and as you can see, it's just splitting. There's just a gap between the tip of the shadow of the Black Mountain there. And then I've got the island on the left hand side. I've got a little rock here. I've got choices here. I can use this to crop into square format if I want, or do a 16:9 letterbox. But I'm really just focusing on capturing the light. So I'm going to take 2 or 3 different images here. I'll also turn the camera around and I'll do a portrait shot, because that might be quite nice. Some bog cotton in the foreground, so that might show up, just the white on the green. And then what I might also do is go into the water and then shoot up from the water, just getting that rock in the frame if I can. And you never know, these might work. I'm just trying to keep moving, because these midges, they're crazy. Right, I'll share these images with you now. It was definitely a drama I was looking for this morning, and boy am I getting it. The drama's these blooming midges, to be honest. Right, so what we've got here is I'm going to do a wide shot, because the mountains are really well lit up and it's really nice. What I'm also going to do is switch to exposure bracketing, and then that way I don't need to take 1 or 2 different shots. I can take a range of 5 exposures from the lowest to the brightest, and then I can use either one of them to enhance, or use 2 or 3 of them to do a HDR merge if I need to later on in post-processing. But what I'll quickly show you is the scene that I'm looking at here. So we've got the brightness of the mountains in the background, we've got the darkness of the foreground of the islands, the water's nice and still, I've got a wee tuft of grass here that I can actually crop out, and then we've got the skies, and the skies are going to be quite dramatic. I've enhanced this image here, so I've got choices here. I can do a kind of 4:5, I can do a 16:9, So I've got quite a lot of choices with this exposure and this composition here this morning. So what I'll do is I'll take 2 or 3 different shots. This is really going to be a wide one. And then another shot I'll do here is I'll try and do a pano and then see if I can get 5 or 6 shots in a pano. And if the images work out, I'll share those images with you now. Do you know, I never thought I'd be as happy as to have a wee breeze as I'm getting just now, because it's keeping those wee beasties away. So as I was taking the pano shot, I also noticed there's a kind of composition here, because the mountains in the background are half lit at the base. I've got the tree here, so I've still got a 20th shutter speed because there's a breeze rippling the water. And I want to smooth the water down as much as I possibly can. I'll still have some small ripples in it, but it'll be soft and it won't be harsh. But just to share with you the scene, so we've got the light here sitting at the base of the mountains. I've got the tree which is looking pretty dark here, but I can bring up the shadows of the tree in the foreground. And then that sky will come out to be absolutely stunning. So these images are definitely going to be moody this morning, that's for sure. It's just a shame there is no light in the foreground, but that's okay. We can enhance the foreground and we can lift the shadows to give it some kind of colour. But yeah, having light on the foreground would have just been the absolute cherry on the cake, just to give it that wee bit extra oomph. But we're not getting it, but that's fine. We'll keep going and I'll share these images with you now. Right, I'm going to make best use of this wee breeze, and what I'm going to do is, if I show you, I'm just going to walk round the edge of the loch and see if I can get a wider vista over at the mountains. I'll catch back with you when I get to the other end. Right, so I've came to the edge here of the water. I'm kind of losing the light. I've only got a wee drop light on top of that mountain there. So I'm just going to readjust the polarizer and the ND3 filter. So polarizer for darkening the bottom and ND so I can darken the sky. Right, so I'm just going to share with you what I can see. So effectively I've got this rock in the foreground, I've got the mountains, I've got that touchy light. It makes it look like a volcano actually, up the top there, and then I've got the islands here. So what I might do is I might just turn the composition round and put that rock in the middle, and then put that rock in the middle, because I've got 1, 2, 3 rocks, and I can then have that shot with the mountains. Right, I'll stop yapping and I'll take these shots, and I might go in the water and go low and get a low down shot using the rock as a foreground, for foreground interest, and just hope that the light starts to change. There's a gap coming up in the cloud behind me, so I'm just hoping that starts to light up the scene a wee bit more. But I have to say, I'm getting exactly what I was looking for with the skies. The drama is amazing. Right, I'm going to show you these images with you now. Right, so I'm moving on to a different location. I'm just watching my footing because we have had quite a bit of water lying around here because of the recent rains. So I spotted a wee tree down here and the lights lighting up the background. But what I need to do is, if I turn round, there's the wee tree, but I'll need to find some kind of separation for the tree so there's no overlap with the edge of the island. I'll try and get it in the middle of the mountain range there, and there's some light popping up on the top left hand side. So I'll probably need to move over here somewhere. So what I'll do is I'll get set up and I'll connect back once I've got a position. Right, I found my composition area. I've had to improvise and use this rock in front of me as a kind of steady area for the front leg. Now, and then mind the potholes. Right, I'm going to share the setup with you that I've got. So I've got this little tree on the left hand side, I've got the beautiful light on the top of the mountains, and I've got all this growth in the water. So here's my dilemma. My dilemma is, it is very, very windy, which means if I was to use a slow shutter speed, the leaves and the branches of that wee tree will be moving. So I'm going to have to take two sets of different exposure images. So for this image, I'm using a 200th of a second f8 ISO 800, and I'm doing that so I freeze the branches so they're not moving. Then what I'll do is I'll switch over and I'll take a slower shutter speed, probably about a 15th or a 20th of a second, just to take the sharpness of the water out of the water. I'll take the two images, and that gives me options when I'm doing my post-processing later on, because the way that the water is, it might be quite nice with a single exposure, but I'll wait and see. I'll try it. It's all going to be trial and error. Just because the light keeps changing, the light is incredible on the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 or 3 different shots, and then when I'm finished, I'll share these images with you now. I'm going to move over to the end here. As you can see, there's a wee kind of peninsula at the edge. So we'll walk over here and we'll see if there's any compositions. I haven't used the ND10 yet because I want to smoothen down the water, but the challenge will be if I've got trees or flowers or grass sticking out of the water, it'll all be smoothed out. So what I'll do is I'll try it. I'll get to the end. If there's anything that I think would work, I'll give it a try. All right, so the wind's picking up, and there's, if I put that in front, you might not be able to see too much. Right, I'm going to pop this on, get big stopper time, ND8, there's a lot of wind in the water. So what I'll do is I've already composed my image, I've set my focus point, I've set it for 30 seconds. It'll be interesting to see the effect that it has. I'm not going to let you wait for 30 seconds, and I'll take these shots and then I'll share that image with you. Then what I'll do is I'm going to move down to the side of the water, because it'll be much better using the rocks as foreground interest and then having that smooth water beside the rocks. So I'll catch back when we're at the bottom. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm using these rocks as foreground. If I show you what I'm doing, I've got these rocks in the foreground, and then my focal point is at the top of the mountain because there's just a spot of light up there. But I've got F11 so I can fill that whole camera and capture the scene as much as I possibly can. Right, there's going to be quite long stints. I've got 30-second shots, 20-second shots, some 15-second shots, some quick shots for the sky. So what I'll do is I'll take 2 or 3 different images, and that'll let you see how well this ND 1000 filter works to help smoothen out the water. And it's helpful that we've got the rocks, and it's a breezy day, so that's good because the water's moving, so that'll help to slow it down. The rocks won't move, but the water will, so the rocks will be in focus, and then we've got the mountain. What we might get though is some nice cloud trails, because it's getting really breezy here, so the clouds must be moving quite quick higher up. So I'll take 2 or 3 different shots and then I'll share these images with you now. Alright, so I'm trying some really low down shots just to get some different perspectives and different angles of compositions. So I set up my camera on one rock over there. I've set my camera on this rock, shooting up to the mountains, because the way the light is shining on that crater is absolutely stunning. But I'm trying to get that kind of smooth water effect. There's not many other rocks that I can use, and the tripod won't go that low, especially in the water. I'm not going to take the risk. However, if these couple of shots turn out, I'll share those images with you now. So I've just turned the camera to the left here, and I've got a really nice composition. The light is absolutely incredible. It's licking off the side of the hills there. I've got this tree and I've got these rocks. I can remove that one. But what I'm trying to do is just get a different composition. I'm going to take a long exposure shot here, and then I'm going to switch back to, because there's a hole emerging above me in the sky. I know the sun is right behind this big cloud straight behind me, because I used the PhotoPills app to show me where the sun was. So the sun's not going to come out because of the way that the clouds are so heavy there. But I'll switch filters and then I'll do some more shots. And any of these images turn out, I'll share them with you now. All right, so that's me. I've been taking 1 or 2 wee shots here again, so I'm absolutely finished. It's I don't think the light's going to dramatically improve that much because there's such the heavy cloud. But I did come out for drama. I've got drama in the skies. Is exactly what I was looking for. It's just a shame that the foreground wasn't lit up as best as I thought it could have been. But anyway, that doesn't matter, because we can lift the shadows in post-processing. I'm hoping those images have turned out this morning. I really hope we were able to make a video out of this. Hopefully the long exposure shots have worked. Hopefully those kind of couple of or 2 or 3 examples of a low lying camera on the rocks has given us a different perspective over the water as well. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll let you know the next time I post a video. So thanks very much for watching, and here's to the next video.